All right, we are back. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Writer's Block Podcast. Your boy Bobby here. I got some special guests in the building today, back in the home studio. The man sitting currently to my right, I've been posting about the show. We just did the show at the ComedyZone, RiverCity Comedy Showcase. The man who hosted, put it together, does his thing. Alex Sanders is right here next to me. And next to Alex, we got this man has been hosting. I don't know how long you've been hosting the show. Every Tuesday night, I talk to y'all about VooSwar, the open mic over out in Mayport. He's been putting it together. Brings a lot of people out, gets a lot of people fucked up. Okay, all right. I think that's one of the things. My mic sounds fucking disgusting. I'll work on it. But that's one of the things. I love this guy, Scott Whatley. Everybody, Scott Whatley. Yeah. Hey, what's up, boys? How we doing? Y'all good?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing great. I was gonna ask you the same thing. We did the first RiverCity Comedy Showcase. Me, Scott was on the show as well. Shout out to the home team, ComedyZone. You already know the gang. Go get tickets. Go check out who's coming in the weekends and all that stuff. That good jazz. How are you feeling? How was the first show?
I was on cloud 9 for like the first day or two after, so I feel like it went pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody had a bad set, which makes you feel good, because I know at least that makes the comics happy.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I know the comics are happy about it. I know the clips came out and are like starting to come out about it, which are nice. So I just feel like, and obviously the audience, I've been getting messages the last 2 days with just people that were like,
oh, that's great.
So
people had a good time?
Yeah, and so many people asked me to come back for the next one. So
hell yeah.
Hopefully that starts a momentum. But I think that for a first show, I don't think it could have gone any better, which is...
No way. There was such a cool energy. Like, after my set, because my dad was there. Oh, shit. We had some friends from the beaches that came out.
Yeah, so your dad looks just like you, dude. Yo, Scott's dad walked in without Scott, and me and Leah both went, that's Scott's dad. Like, the same walk, the same facial structure. It was funny as shit. I'm going to turn this AC off.
It's actually more surprising you're not a junior. Between the two of you guys.
Yeah, well, I am.
I saw his dad, too.
My dad's name is Scott Whatley.
You didn't see my dad.
Yeah, I did.
My dad's name
Didn't you post a picture of him?
You saw my stepdad. You've never seen my actual father.
I thought, okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm making this weird straightaway.
I saw his dad. Nigga, I haven't even seen my dad. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about you seen my dad? Where did you see him?
But yeah, this was a great show, man. Scott, this was your first time playing a comedy club. You were just talking about that a second ago. And your dad used to do stand-up, 20 years ago, you were saying?
Something like that, yeah, during the early 2000s.
So what was that like, fucking playing in a comedy club for the first time and having him there?
Dude, it was unbelievable. Having gone from, as a kid, being barely old enough to get in there, and watching him perform, of course, he was kind of killing it back in the day. I mean, he was all over the place. He'd be in Gainesville, then he'd be in some ski resort in North Carolina, then he'd be, he's getting booked everywhere. But anytime he was in town, I mean, we were going. Me and my buddies from high school would like, I don't know, I'm trying to think if we were even, you had to be 21 to get in there or just 18?
Now, yeah.
Now, I think back then you had to be 18, and I might have been 18.
Yeah, it's 21 plus right now.
Yeah. So and I was getting in there and watching my dad like murder the room and being like, and I think one of the only like living clips of my dad on YouTube was there at ComedyZone.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because it was like before everybody was filming all their shows and stuff, So
yeah.
And so having him in the crowd, it was funny. When I got done, I was texting Lindsay. I'm like, was my dad laughing? Like that's the only thing. I wanted to entertain him. Like it could have been just me and him in the room.
Yeah.
But that was on that stage and performing for him was like.
That's dope as hell, bro. That was my first time doing a show in front of my mom was there.
Oh,
I've been doing stand-up for 4 years now. She had never seen a show.
Really?
Until that night. Yeah, they came to one show at the ComedyZone, but I got bumped off the show.
Oh, no. That's the worst. That's how it always works.
Dude,
actually.
Yeah.
This career's really taking off, isn't it, Bob?
Yeah. Literally, I was so hyped. I was like, the one time, like, when I had the most people brought that out of so far, I got bumped off of that show. And I was like, oh, God damn it.
Damn, that's brutal.
Yeah. But, Alex hosted, so Alex went up first, then me, and then Scott, Mike Freed.
Yeah.
Mike Freed, Scott. Who was the guy from Gainesville who you brought?
Harry Snover.
Harry Snover. He was funny also. He was cool.
Witty comic. He was like a new school Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah, I asked him how he met you, and he said, I don't know. We barely talk. I don't know how he just booked me.
Alex thinks they're good friends.
Yeah. Alex
when I intro Leroy, and then I go, one of my best friends. As I'm leaving, I go, you're not one of my best friends. I was like, I had a few drinks at that point. I was feeling, I was in a good mood. I was just like, hype him up. He's the closer.
Like, I hosting the open mic, bro. I used to say anything when you bringing up somebody. This next guy coming to the stage, he actually cured assistant's cancer. Yeah, I don't fucking know.
You know what I do hosting all the time is I go up, and I'm notorious. Obviously, I get ragged on this all the time for doing 5 minutes in between each comic. Dude, I'll go there. I'll be doing crowd work or whatever, and I'm like halfway through whatever I'm doing, I'm like, who am I bringing up next?
Yeah, I'm glad that you owned up to it. We talked about it on this show before.
I started that mic for one reason, to do more time on stage. And if anybody else wants to come to the show, they can. Yeah. But this is a place where I can work on crowd work or whatever. And so, yeah, comics are always giving me shit for it, but I'm like, why else?
I did at the show, backstage. I was like, I'm about to do 5 minutes.
Oh, he did it. Yeah, he's about to bring me on. He looks at me. He goes, chill out. I'm going to do 5 before I bring you on. And I go, all right, cool. He goes, I'm just fucking.
Yeah, that's funny.
I brought Trevor Johnson on one time, and I called him Trevor Lawrence because I forgot his damn name.
Oh, wow. Yo, that's funny as hell.
I was like, this next comic is Trevor Lawrence, and he's looking at me like...
The exact opposite stature of a Trevor.
Yeah, exactly.
The most unathletic Trevor you've ever seen on live.
He probably thought I was doing it to mess with him, but I genuinely forgot his name. It's the only Trevor name that came to mind, so I just said it.
I do love the VooSwar room though. Like I was telling you, like that room before I got my own open mic. That was always my favorite open mic. Yeah. Like it's a great workout room to go try some new stuff. But like honestly, most of the people who like really, really rock with me on like Instagram or Twitter or whatever, I met them at VooSwar.
Really?
Like they've actually checked up on me. We became friends or something. Like I don't know, it was dope.
There's comedy fans that show up to that. Like a lot of open mics, it's whoever is at the bar that night drinking.
Yeah.
You know, but the VooSwar audience, and you see regulars that come back and they're just like ready for it. They're there for it.
They've come up to me after a show and given me notes that I actually take. Yeah, like which makes no sense for an audience member to do.
I think that would still annoy me. I'd be like,
like, bitch, put your name on the list then.
Give me that shit. You ain't even really that funny.
I ain't using this, man. What is this? That's pretty good. All right, hey, but I ain't doing this again.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know if I haven't.
I'm not gonna give you credit or nothing, man. You just yeah. But yeah. So like that room, do you feel like finally like that room helped you kind of fucking
100%
get a lot better? Like now, do you feel growth? Because you can't really feel when you're growing as a comic, even when you're trying to do something like trying to work on crowd work or trying to do blah blah blah.
Yeah. You
don't really feel yourself doing it until you've done it, and now you're like, oh, I can do this now.
Yeah. And hosting, well, first off, it gave me a relationship with all the other comics. Whereas when you're just starting out and going to mics, like when I first started going to mics, it was like, I don't know if I belong. All these guys know each other. Like, where am I in this whole scene? Like, you know. And
that's how you felt?
Yeah, I did.
What year? What did you just start that?
VooSwar. Almost 2 years ago. Oh, VooSwar?
Yeah. Like hosting. You started hosting?
Yeah. Started that, I think, October of like
last year?
2020 maybe?
Oh, okay.
It's been about a year and a half almost.
Okay,
I started it very shortly after I started comedy in general.
Okay.
I had only been doing comedy a couple months, and I went to Rain Dogs and like 2 a.m, and nobody calls my name, and I didn't know how anything worked. And I was like, man, what? This is garbage. I'll start my own. If you won't let me on stage, I'll start my own.
Is that when it was like when you go up and then the person who's on stage calls the next comic on the list? Well, just not even the next one on the list. It's just whatever
their friend is. And call them up.
That really annoys me, but I get it. Like some mics are like that.
Yeah, I get it too.
I get it, but that would piss me off.
Yeah, and I had no idea what the culture of open micing was or anything like that. But
well, you don't know until you get into it like that.
But then starting that mic, I was like, two things. I didn't want to have to drive all over the city to do comedy.
There was nothing at the beach.
There was nothing at the beach. Yeah. And for me, anytime I want to get on stage, it's a 30-minute commitment minimum.
Yeah.
You know, and then if I'm going to stay after and hang out with some comics, I mean, I'm not getting home. You do Rain Dogs, and you get on at 1:30 in the morning, and you're going to stay after and talk to some comics. I'm not getting home till 2:30, 3. It's like, this is brutal, you know?
I haven't hit that stage yet. That's what I learned. I'm not a comics comic. I'm going home. I'm not fucking hanging out after. I like you guys, but I'm going to my house.
It depends on the mic. The beach one, I like the vibe there, so I'll hang out. Just
dude, no, that was we stayed after like InkFactory show. We so we all actually did the InkFactory show a couple months ago. Also, I stayed out. That was a great vibe. That was a great hang. Like. But those nights, that was a show, man. We were there. We were all vibing. It was nice.
Energy's high.
I didn't just drive 30 minutes and get stage time for like 4 people. You know what I mean? Like, I went to a mic. This is where I was really pissed off at open mics and stuff. I drove out to an open mic, and when I got called on stage, everyone walked out before I even got to the stage. I waited to watch people have a crowd, and then I did 5 minutes for nobody. And then when I got the light to get off, 14 people walk into the fucking thing and just sit right there. And on my way home, my fucking car got a flat tire. I was pissed. I didn't get paid for the show, and I just bombed for nobody. Pissed me off. But like hanging out, I would never hang out after that show.
Yeah.
Because then there's too much going on.
Why would you hang out after that? That's some bullshit.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, after a good show, a good vibe, like good hosting, if everyone's actually cool with each other, it's fun to hang. I'm not worried about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no,
Are you excited to be hosting this show? Do you think it's going to change anything for you?
Change anything? Probably not. I mean, I don't know how it would change anything.
Like your comedy, fucking you getting better.
Probably, I hate hosting. Like, I'll say that.
Why do you hate hosting?
I am just, the energy of a host is like, you have host energy. You're like positive, has energy. I always lean towards negative, and you don't want to poop on your own show. You know what I mean? So, like, if someone does bad, I almost, as a person, want to be like, that guy, right? You don't want to do that, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I know that's not how you make friends, either.
Yeah.
But, like, my energy leads towards, like, the negative things are sometimes funnier to make it positive.
I think, for me, I was super positive before, like, now hosting the open mic at the Zone.
Yeah.
I think I was much more positive before hosting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, I also hate hosting, but I also like it a little bit more. Like, I feel like it's taught me that I can be negative to a certain extent and just be like, it's okay. Like, you know, as long as I'm still, like, we're telling jokes, we're still doing funny and stuff like that. But you don't have to be cheery, you know?
I also think open mic energy might be different, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, on a comedy show where they pay $10, luckily nobody, like I said, had a bad set. And I wouldn't go after them and be like, that guy, right?
Yeah.
That's stupid. I booked him in the first place.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but it's one of those things where, like, for that show, that energy, you always want to keep it going at a comedy club. It seems like an event, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I don't want to poop on any level. And that's where I'm, like, tiptoeing, because my natural energy is always like, screw this whole thing that we're doing.
Fuck what's going on here?
My thing. That's
change it up.
Yeah.
When you're hosting, it's like pushing a car that's like broke. You know, just pushing it down the road. And it's like, if you have people helping you, there's people that are funny around you. You're pushing this thing, and then if somebody just gives up or has a bad set, and then you have to now I have to really lean in to keep this thing going. Yeah. But if you hit a hill and it's like, man, this thing is just crushing, then you can kind of just enjoy that momentum.
Well, I also did a quick I did a quick set in the beginning because I thought I might need 5 minutes to reset after certain people.
Yeah.
And then I never had to do another joke.
Quick set. You did 10 minutes sometimes.
Yeah,
I know. But I planned for myself to do 15. So I was like, and, you know, usually come out takes 30 seconds to introduce the next person, all that. So that's like, I count that in a factor too. But I was like, you know, I wanted time to do, like, there was certain jokes that I know are like maybe a minute long that I would be like, get them to have energy again that I just never did. And I was like, oh, like, you know, just because everyone kept crushing.
Yeah.
Like, it just was constant. I was like, I don't want to ruin the energy.
Yeah.
As a host, if everybody's having a great set, you just...
I think what I was going to say a second ago is, like, I think different about that. Like, if someone goes up and it doesn't go great, I don't think I ever feel like, oh, I got to go lean in and do blah, 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 blah. You go back up there, tell your jokes, bring the next person up. You know what I mean? Like, there's no added pressure. It's still the same thing going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
You're probably right, too, because as a comic, when somebody does bad before you, you're like, well, that makes
Sucks
my
for
job
them.
easier. Yeah.
If somebody murders, you're like, damn, I got to follow that? They just buried me.
Yeah.
But no, as a host, though, I feel like a certain amount of responsibility to make sure the people that I invited to this thing enjoy themselves. And for VooSwar, the way I treat that, and you guys know this, like, anybody can bomb for 5. But if somebody's murdering, I'm going to let them keep murdering, because at the end of the night, I want all the audience to say, like, that was so much fun, I can't wait to come back.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is for people to be like, I don't know, that one guy was kind of funny, but the whole
That's
night.
how you get regulars, though.
Yeah.
That's how you get those guys who came back and now actually give you notes on your stuff.
Yeah.
Because they've seen good stuff, and then when you let somebody rip for a while and do like 15 minutes.
I also just want to go on record and say, if you're listening to this, don't give us fucking notes after that. I don't want to encourage. I'm not encouraging whatever the fuck Alex is talking about right now. Don't encourage people to just come up.
You know what I really love about doing a show is when the audience has notes for me.
That is one of the worst things that you can do.
One of the proudest moments as a comic is when the audience really helps you dial in.
Bro, it's the worst thing. I hate, like, I go out and I bark and I tell people about shows and pass out flyers and stuff. I love the people who take them. Shout out to y'all. But you also get those people who go, you know, I've always wanted to try comedy myself. I got a lot of material. I just never wrote it down. And then they start talking to you for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, man, listen.
Like, how about I give you a stack of these and you go act like a comic right now?
Yeah,
pass them on.
you know, don't encourage fucking audience members coming up to give notes. You don't know anything. But thanks for being nice if you're nice.
Yeah, highly negative.
Yeah.
You know how annoyed you would be if you got notes from a comedian after every show?
Oh, I've gotten it before and been like,
how bad is your stand-up, bro? How bad?
Yeah,
He's like, you know how often this happens to me?
Yeah.
all the
Really?
time.
Because that's never happened to me. No, it happens all the time. Dude. Always people telling me how to do better. I always appreciate the help, man.
That's what works.
So, coming from the guy, this dude right here.
Yeah.
We went out one night. We got hammered. We come back. We're standing in the kitchen, and Alex gets all he gets all lovey and feely, and he's like, "Hey,
what?
Man. Yeah.
Alex loves and feels.
Oh yeah. He was just standing there. He's like, "Dude, you know what?" He's like, "You're really funny." I was like, "Oh, thanks, dude." He goes, "You just can't write good punchlines." I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Here, have another one. Tell me more."
I respect that so much.
I'm
not gonna lie.
He's like, "You got good energy, but your writing is pretty weak."
Yeah, I respect that so much. I need somebody to be drunk honest with me like that.
Oh, dude. You know what?
Take me on a boat and I'll get you real drunk honest.
No, you know what it's made me do is it's made me evaluate all my tags and all my stuff. I'm like, is that a good tag, or am I just selling it with? Is it funny because of my facial expression or because of my body language?
I think that's also part of comedy, though.
I think it
like,
is, yeah.
I think I do that accidentally sometimes. Like, I care more about like the words that I'm writing and stuff, but at the same time, like, you're also performing the jokes.
100%.
There's been times where like someone will laugh just because I made a face. Like, if I can get someone to laugh for 10 seconds just by making a face, I get an extra 10-second laugh out of you. That's fucking golden, also. But I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Did you just burp into the mic?
I coughed, motherfucker. You see how quick it got hot when I turned the AC off?
Contact each other like, huh?
Yeah. You see how quick it got hot when I turned the AC unit off? That's why I'm like, what the fuck?
What I just saw was Bobby had one of those minutes where he got booked for 15 and he realized he only had 5 of material. This podcast is going dope.
Yeah. Dude. Honestly, that's a great point, dude, because this actually happened to me before, and like me and Christian Blaker had a whole argument about this. He's been on the pod before, so I dropped the name. They know who he is. I got asked to perform at a private birthday party. She was like, "Hey, can you do 30 minutes of comedy?" And I was like she was gonna pay me $300 to do 30 minutes of comedy.
Yeah, that's good.
This is this isn't recent, by the way. This is when I was a much worse comic than
You're like,
I am
I got
now.
a tight 5. Yeah, I'll come do your 30.
Straight up, yeah. I literally was gonna be like,
Just say 5 over and over 6 times.
just tell the same jokes.
Next time, I'm gonna turn my hat forwards and do this one.
That's funny as
Just talk with
shit.
different looks. You know, you talk about different faces.
Change clothes.
Does the audience have any suggestions? Any suggestions from the audience?
But we had a whole debate because I turned it down because I was like, no, I'm not. I appreciate you. Like, she saw me open for Tony Roberts that weekend, and I was like, I appreciate you asking me, but this is your birthday, man. Let me do a little more work. Give me a year.
Yeah,
Give me a year to actually have that under my belt.
Right.
And then absolutely. But I was told that I should have just took the gig and figured it out later. Like,
I don't know about that, man. I think that's bad advice.
I also thought that was terrible advice.
I think that's
don't
bad
know.
advice.
Because if I just get better the next year and they call me back,
right.
then I can potentially get booked more and more by them.
Absolutely.
But if I went up there and I didn't perform well, and I was like, yo, you got that 300 still, Darby?
I agree with both points because, like, at one point, you're right. You don't want to ruin that guy's birthday.
Yeah, it was a woman.
And like, you can
it was a woman. It was a woman, Alex.
Sorry.
Gosh, you're already accused of not booking women on the street.
I don't book women. I don't get booked by women. If there's one thing I don't do is women. I don't do women. Wait, what am I saying?
But I do get not ruined that person's, that woman's birthday party. But at the same time, it would be nice to have air conditioning here, so $300 could come in handy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, when I got in here, this shirt was tight on me. I'm gonna leave it be baggy. I'm gonna sweat my ass off in here.
I'm wearing jeans.
That's a cool podcast. It's a cool concept where you got like a weight loss program wrapped up in a conversation.
A sauna, steam room bit.
Yeah, speaking of, it's this hot in here. Where's Joe Rogan anyway? I thought he was supposed to be here. Isn't that always a sauna situation with him?
It's all right. So what's next? Like, did the first show. You were freaking out about that. Literally the whole weeks before leading up to it, I'm telling Alex, bro, relax. It's going to be fine. Like, he was so nervous, so fucking just anxious about it. Now that it's behind us, we did it. We're moving forward now. Where are you? Where's your level?
So I'm excited about it moving forward because the first one was good. I'm sure before the second one I'm going to be nervous again. But this is the first time ComedyZone's let a local comic do this. So
that's incredible.
It's like, to me, it's a big deal. It's like I've booked people who've literally teared up. Because they've been doing comedy in Jacksonville for 20, 30 years and never been on that stage, which is absurd. Like, one of the guys I don't want to name because now he sounds like a pussy.
He was crying. What a bitch.
I don't want to say who it was.
You can just say it was me. I have been.
Dude, that's crazy.
But there was somebody who like literally got teary-eyed in front of me, and I was like,
I think I know who it is.
I don't think you do, actually.
If he was on the show, bitch, there's five options.
So I don't want to say if he was or wasn't, but
all right, whatever.
Probably
go ahead.
Stop that.
Yeah.
But he teared up, and there's been a couple that have been like got emotional and sent me messages like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So like there seems like the reason I was nervous about it is because there's like kind of a weird responsibility with it, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. So I want it to be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's not even just because it's like my thing in my neck. It's like, whatever, I don't care about that. It's like I'm doing this kind of for like people who've been in the scene for 15, 20 years.
Right. I almost felt premature on it, like, because I'm new to the comedy scene. I've only been doing comedy in general for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And that stage means a lot to me, but if it had the same meaning it had to me, but I've been working at this for 20 years in this city and had never been on it, like to jump in ahead of those people in line. But I'm so grateful for the opportunity, and I didn't take it for granted. Like, I think if I just treated it like it was no big deal.
That's one thing that I don't think matters as much. Like,
that's what
there's people who always push that. I've been here for 15, blah, blah, blah. They never let me, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I get that, but at the same time, none of this shit is linear.
Like, the you one were. I'm thinking of,
go. I don't give a fuck about him. I'm talking about him. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
But there are ones that suck. The one I'm thinking of is like could be famous if he moved somewhere else. He should be like he's really good.
Okay, well then maybe I don't know who you're talking about.
Like, but everybody talks about him like he's that guy. So he's really good. Yeah, if you're 15 years and you suck, I don't care. If you're 2 years in and you're good, I'm going to book you. I care about funny only. Yeah, so at the end of the day, that's all that'll matter for that show. Because that's how you get regulars. The same thing with the VooSwar thing. Like, that's how you get people come back.
You put on a good show.
Nobody cares about anything else other than funny. Nobody cares. So it's one of those things where I was nervous for that. Moving forward, now that we had a good one under our belt, I have a proof of concept to be like, all right, cool, we can do this. And I'll be more loose. And have more fun with it. But it's just getting those clips out, I think, helps want people on the show. Definitely. All that stuff, so.
Yeah, and we're offering, like, it's kind of neat that we're able to provide good footage. Yeah. People can have clips,
Yeah, shout out to Scott, by the way. Scott recorded the showcase this month on like a $20,000 fucking camera.
Well, don't tell us that expensive. We don't need people.
I don't need anybody following me to the parking lot. It was a Razor flip phone. It was one of the first ones with a camera on it. I mounted it real steady on a
recorded on a BlackBerry. Dude, yeah, honestly, like It came out really, really good. I watched it this morning, but I was like half asleep and a little hungover.
I know this sounds dumb, but I watched it and it has like a stylistic look to it.
Yeah, because it's on a cinematic camera.
I know, but it looks like, it looks so like
cinematic. That sounds like $20,000 to me, motherfucker.
You're so used to seeing comedy from like a guy's iPhone 20 feet away, 30 feet away, and it looks like that. And then this, I was like, oh.
Did you just drop the lawnmower sound effect on your pad over there?
I didn't. That's actually my neighbor who lives right over there. I think his name is like Jerry or something like that.
He's definitely Jerry or Steven.
He's an old man. I you know where I live. A lot of old people around here. I love that.
That's cool.
I'm the terrorizer of this neighborhood.
That's good. That's how my place is.
Yeah, re-gentrifying Riverside. You did something interesting at this show. You invited your girl to this show.
I did.
I have yet. I think that's
still
weird for
haven't
me.
met her. He invited her there and hit her
You
away.
definitely met her.
Did you introduce me to her?
No, but I was.
Yeah, no.
He introduced me. Well, no, I came up there.
Yeah, probably.
Lindsay asked me about that. She's like, "Did you meet Alex's girl?" I was like, "No." I didn't know she was here.
Yeah. I think that's always a tricky thing, man. Like having your girl come to a show. I mean, well, y'all are like together.
Yeah.
I don't invite girls to my show like that because I'm like, yo, I'm busy. Like I'm preoccupied. I don't want to care about what you
can't be catering to.
Yeah.
Her. Yes,
I don't want to care about what you're gonna think of this or that.
Right.
Like
I don't want to have to hold back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like I literally like my biggest clip right now. I posted that clip about me cheating on someone. Bro, I'm so mad that shit popped, bro. It has like 440 likes and 7,000 views, and every girl I talk to is like, "Do you have a girlfriend?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." But like shit like that, like I don't know. But
yeah, my chick. And it's funny because a lot of our
you bring her to the show.
What's that?
Was she at the show?
Yeah. Yeah, she'll come to shows.
Yeah.
And but my friends and stuff, they'll ask me like, "Is she going to VooSwar? Or is she going?" I'm like, "No, she's not going to listen to me bullshit crowd work on."
Okay, so you don't
mics.
bring her to the workout shows,
No,
but like
I'm not
showcases and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not going to go work out material.
Okay.
She just has things to do. She's busy, and so am I.
Boom.
Like, and the other thing too is when she does come to a show, she understands like I'm working.
Yeah.
Like if I came to your job, I wouldn't just be like, "Hey," like it'd be very disrespectful. Yeah. And she understands that like even though it's jokes and it's fun, like I have a lot on my shoulders, especially like an InkFactory or something like that. Mm-hmm. Or regardless, any show, I'm going to be pacing around. I'm in my head. I'm thinking about my material, setting up a camera.
Have either of you ever bombed in front of your girls?
No.
She's already been to like one or two shows, so no.
Yeah,
she's
only.
I've bombed in front of a girl who I brought out to a show before, and that I'm just like, no, I'm never.
Not this girl. I bombed in front of girls I was like.
That counts.
I was crushing on.
Counts.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, thankfully every time
how was it? What was the experience talking to them after that?
Oh, so embarrassing.
All right, let's go. This is where we at. Let's go.
I still remember it was at Wine Bar. It was like the first year or two I started comedy, and I had like a good month where I was like, dude, I'm figuring this comedy thing out.
Yeah.
Like I'm on top of this, and then I was supposed to close out the show, and then they moved me to the front as the first comic because like the guys who used to run the show were in town, so they like just randomly, and they're like, well, we're closing it now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, now I'm fucked.
Yeah. Well,
like this isn't gonna be good, and I just ate she was right in the front too, and I just
dude, that's terrible. She was front row.
I was sweating as bad as I am right now in this room.
Did you bring her? Did y'all drive together to the show?
No, she lived
right over it.
I would have just left.
Yeah, when you talked about like hanging out after, you do that afafter a good show. Those shows like you want to leave, but she's still there, and you're like,
You stayed for her?
Yeah,
you're a better man than me.
I stayed. Yeah.
Scott, what about you? Have you ever bombed in front of someone that you liked?
No, I mean, not that I haven't bombed. I've had my share of bombs, that's for sure. But no, because I usually, thankfully, the shows that she's come out to have been good shows. I've done well. In fact, the first show that I ever put together was I was opening up for. I put the show together because some comics were in town from L.A. I had been on stage 5 times in the history of my ever.
Yeah.
And these guys were coming. They were coming to town, and we were shooting a bunch of sketch comedy and stuff. And I was just the filmer.
Dope.
And we were on the call, and I was like, "So you guys are all comedians?" And they were like, "Yeah." I was like, "Y'all want to put a show together?" And they're all in L.A. This is during the pandemic where everything was shut down. And they're like, yeah, we haven't done stand-up in like a year. Put one together. I was like, all right. So I booked this show. I was like, oh, well, I guess who's opening? Your boy's doing 10 off the top.
Yeah.
And thankfully it was kind of like an InkFactory setup where we did 2 shows back to back, and they were both sold out. And so I did two sets, and it was my 6th time ever holding a microphone telling jokes. And it went pretty well. I mean, I look back at the footage now, and it's definitely not as strong as what I do now, obviously. But even that wasn't a bomb. It was good stuff. So thankfully, I've never bombed in front of her. But, I mean, whenever I have a bad one, I'll call her on the way home and be like, I don't even know what I'm doing. This is trash. Like, I'm wasting everybody's time. We could have been having a date night. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Every bomb makes you reevaluate.
Oh, dude, me and Mikey V were in Orlando. And
shout out to Mikey.
Yeah, shout out to Mikey.
He lives like right next door. He should be here right now.
Is he lawn mowing?
Mikey, is that Mikey? That's a dad move right there. That is a Mikey B move. No, we were down in Orlando and we were doing some mics, and we did this one, and it was so terrible that the crowd was so bad. By the time I got on there was 2 people and one chick, and I was like, I'm not even going to do material in front of these people. It's not even worth it. So I just kind of started poking fun at the room or whatever. And then I started to riff off this one chick, and it turns out she was the last comedian. And she was like, she wasn't even having it. She was like, I was like, hey, how about you? What's your name? It's got to be like Jessica or something. She's like, why do you care about my name? It was like, and I was just like, well, that's my time.
Could you imagine if crowd work was like, yo, so what do you do for work? Why do you care about my job?
That's exactly
Get the fuck out of the club, dude.
That's what this chick did to me. And I looked at Mikey V. I was like, let's just fuck that. Thanks, everybody. That's my time. I was like, wait, this is bullshit.
That's funny as fuck. That's actually hilarious. I'm going to Orlando at the end of this month doing Milk District.
Oh, cool.
I've never done
Joe's deal?
Yeah. He got me through. I've never done shows in Orlando before. I don't know what it's going to be like at all.
Yeah.
What's the crowd like?
So I did a few mics down there. There was one that was really cool. It was the original improv room, and it's been changed now, so it's not an improv anymore. What's that called? Do you know?
Is it the Bluefish or whatever?
No, that's the room that's outside of the improv.
Okay.
I did that one too, though. That was crazy. We were down there. Actually, I was filming. I was producing some content, and just happened to be in Orlando.
Yeah.
And I had Drew with me. It was the night after InkFactory, the first one, and we went down there. We were filming all day. We were exhausted, and then I was texting Christian Blaker, I think, and he was like, "Yeah, it was like Jacksonville versus Orlando."
Okay, I remember seeing those flyers.
Yeah, it was
the
cool.
crowd all right in Orlando? Were they
good.
laughing?
Well, that was crazy because we just went just to support. Like, let's just go clap for our boys. Like, we'd seriously shot a 12-hour day. We were exhausted, and I didn't even grab a shower. I just like threw a different shirt on, and we went. And I walked in the room. Isaiah Burns was hosting it. And it was so cool because we walked in and he was like, "Oh, what are y'all doing here?" I'm like, "We're just here to support everybody." He's like, "You want to do 10 minutes?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." So it was really wild because I had no intentions of getting on the stage at all, but it was at Bluefish, and it was rad to walk in. Christian Blaker was finishing his set, and he's like, "He's our last act, but if you and Drew want to go on, you can have time." I was like, "Cool." And that bar is really, really loud, so you had to really project to get the people right in front of you to hear over the bar behind them.
It's very elongated.
Yeah, but it was really cool. And Rob Snyder was in the main room.
Yeah.
And
okay.
And so it's kind of cool.
I'm going to have to check these rooms out.
Yeah.
I'll be there July 30th, and then I'll probably, that's a Saturday. But I asked some people, like, what are the rooms and, like, the spots out there. Apparently they have, like, mics every single day as opposed to what we do here.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, they had a bunch of mics, but I've only done, like, 3 different rooms down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done Orlando or anything like that?
Not in a long time. Since I came back from Atlanta, I haven't like traveled much just to do stuff. I used to do all the Gainesville shows. I used to do Tallahassee a lot. Like anything that was like within a 3-hour radius.
Yeah.
I would do. Like we actually every 2 weeks we would do one day where we would travel.
That's cool. I'd like to do some more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Copper Rockets down there too. I think one's called Broken Strings or Brass Strings.
Like the names of the spots?
Yeah, there's other mics. I'm just thinking about the other ones that I've done down there.
When you when you were in Atlanta versus doing what's going on now, what do you think that you think this is better for you, or was that a better situation?
I actually, I actually genuinely think I'm getting better in Jacksonville.
You didn't think that in Atlanta?
No, Atlanta you get too many people doing the same thing. Like everyone merges into this whole same thing. It's actually like you don't get to differentiate at all. Like
that's interesting. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it's weird that they all kind of become the same comic.
You mean topical or just like the way they deliver is like
the delivery, the style, the stylistic. Like Crespo would never exist. And Marcus Crespo. Shout out Marcus Crespo. Would never exist in that world.
Really?
I don't think so.
You feel like
when he came there, he killed because he was the oddity. He was so weird compared to what they're all doing. So they all became the same thing. And I was like, I want to figure out who I am before I go there.
Yeah, bring who you are to that.
Yeah.
That'd be like starting a band in Seattle in the 90s. Like, you're going to sound like Nirvana.
That's kind of what it was.
That's kind of crazy.
I'm too young for that.
He's like, so tell me more about this classic rock.
Go ahead, use Pierce the Veil or Bring Me the Horizon or something young. I don't know.
What are these things you're talking about over there?
That's music, man.
You know
my first job was Journeys at Regency Mall out here. That was my first ever job. So I used to get paid to go to Warped Tour and shit.
That's awesome.
I used to hear all the fucking emo bands and stuff. It was great.
I like old rap. I don't really like new rap.
Hey, hey, you stop that.
Remember when old rappers?
Stop that right now.
Old rap is just about.
I actually just wrote a tag to that today. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Whose joke is that? It's not mine. It's not my
Stop
joke.
doing my material. But no, Atlanta has a great scene, so I don't want to like poop on it. It just was. It wasn't for me after I was there for a while. Also, I went there when COVID was hitting off, and it was like hard to get on shows because everybody was like, "I want to do comedy again" because I haven't done it for a year.
Yeah,
so it was like
hard to come by.
Yeah, and like that, it became like I didn't have a sample size to be like, remember me from like 2 months before COVID hit?
Yeah.
So it got to be like, if I got on those shows more regular, I probably would have a different opinion.
You went to Atlanta for comedy, or went to Atlanta for work and happened to be a better
kind of both.
Pursue it there.
I kind of could leverage one for the other one. You know, like
I did
an office there too.
I did Laughing Skulls up there. Did you do that room?
Oh shit! You did Laughing Skull? I submitted to a comedy festival there. I didn't get in. But looking back, my tape was not worthy at all. Either way, they took that $40 though. They took that. Yeah. They stole that shit.
That's how those things operate, man. It's like everybody send me your $40, and I'll pick the 5 people I was gonna have anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of festivals, I am on the LOL Jax Film Festival this year. Shout out to Jen Weeks. I think I'm doing Saturday, and then Leroy is actually doing Sunday, I believe. So, LOL Jax Film Festival. I think August 2nd or August 6th. I don't know. We have more pods, and I'll tell y'all the real date soon.
Okay.
That's cool. What is that? The LOL Film Festival?
Like a bunch of people just submit you make films. I'm surprised you didn't know about this. A bunch of people submit like sketches and short films to this festival, and Jaguars partner with it. Like a bunch of other people. What'd you ask me?
Was it Ace O'Connell? My little stupid character I do.
Oh my God! You know I didn't know that was you.
Are you serious?
Yo, I thought it was just someone on Instagram pretending to be you. A fucking white surfer dude is a blonde Scott or something.
It's literally Scott. Do you think all white people look the same?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Hey, you thought my stepdad was my real dad. You can't be the one to talk about this.
That is an innocent mistake.
You think all black people look the same, Alex? Oh man.
So you got to put together a sketch. That's the whole deal.
No, it's not. No, you just submit stuff. Let me read it.
But it's supposed to be funny.
Yeah, like it could be whatever. It could be whatever. I'm probably giving terrible information because I didn't look at anything else outside the comedy part of it. But
I like those plugging things, but it's also I don't know.
Well, tell me. Okay, so tell me more about the format. What does it work? Are they screening these films and you can?
Yeah, they are screening them. Jen Weeks is the one hosting it, so she actually talked about it with her episode that her and I did. Mm-hmm. I'm logging into my Facebook here. You guys can keep talking.
But it's an LOL one, so everything submitted has to have a comedy element to it. Is that what you're saying?
No. I think. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Ask Jen.
That's pretty cool. What's that?
Have you met Jen before?
Maybe.
You haven't met Jen Weeks? I'm talking about her like everyone knows her. You know her, Alex?
Jen or Jim?
Jen. Jenn.
Jen. Jenn.
Yeah, I did an episode with her a couple weeks ago.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, that'd be cool to be a part of a film. I've only ever tried to be a part of one. It was a Florida surf film festival. Yeah,
I'm surprised that you hadn't known about that because you do this. That's your job.
Man, anybody talks to me about that?
Wait, so when did that?
None of the crowd gave me notes on that.
When did you start doing like producing and like making content and stuff like that on a professional level, like as like your day job?
Yeah, I started. It's probably 2008 or 2009. I don't
know where that.
I was working with a few bands. I used to have a merch company, so I would design and print band merch.
Merch.
Then, merch, like T-shirts and hats and stuff. And then nice. I had my own clothing line for a while, and I went on tour with some bands, and I brought a friend of mine, DK, Donald Kilgore.
Okay.
Look up Donald Kilgore. He's an unbelievable filmmaker. And we were on tour with a few bands, and one of the bands didn't have an opening animation.
Yeah.
And so I was designing all the stuff, and he was animating it.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, we kind of worked through the night, and we did a great job for him. Became the open for this tour. And after that tour, one of the artists asked us to produce a music video, so we worked on that together. And it did really well. It was like, remember Journeys in the Mall?
I worked there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you were just talking about that, weren't you?
Yeah, it's my first job.
What years?
In Regency, 2014 to 2016.
It might have been shortly after that stuff was running. But this guy's name was B. Reith, and he had a hip hop. It was a white hip hop guy. He had a music video and Journeys on the TVs and stuff. So it was pretty successful. And then I grabbed a camera and started shooting and started learning as much as I could. And then I went to work for an ad agency and started doing it full time.
And then making your own stuff from there, like sketches and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've never really messed around with doing too much funny stuff until pretty recently. I've always done like more serious, storytelling and things like that. And then I started working with Live Forever Golf. They're one of my clients, and the guys that own that company, they're hilarious dudes.
Yeah.
And so when I first started working with them, we would get together and have these creative meetings, and half the ideas were just stupid sketches. You know, like we had made up this character named Scoops. All he does is fill in divots on golf courses and stuff, and we made this whole thing where he's anyway. It started, and then
you gotta.
And then I started.
That's like the perfect end to make your own world. Like I've been talking about on the show a lot. Like that's like the perfect. You have the when I said everyone has their own tools in comedy. Like there's none of us are going to use the exact same ladder to get catapulted anywhere. Mm-hmm. Everybody has their own tools of what they get. Your tools are filmmaking.
Yeah.
And now you're a comedian, but you have that background of an expertise in fucking
absolutely
what some of us are trying to do, become film writers, TV writers, all this other stuff.
You're like the opposite.
Yeah, that
I did radio. I did radio and shit and podcast and producing before I got really good at this, doing stand up and stuff like that. And this was my skill. This was my way into the culture of comedy here to do an interview.
It'll open doors for you.
You should definitely try that shit out, man. Just make some shit on your own, of you.
Yeah, I definitely will. Now that I know stuff like that exists, I'll take that stupid character I do and do a longer format, like a 5-minute or something. This is all different, but every festival.
Just make sure people know it's you.
Why? if I play a character,
he's doing that because I didn't know.
Oh yeah, that's pretty.
Just make sure you get the followers, man.
Yeah, make sure people know.
So. We're at 40 minutes. Scott has children, so I know you got to go grab them shortly.
Did I just get the light?
No.
Here's a podcast light. This guy's got to go.
I do want to. What do you think about do you think you'll still be doing comedy when they're cognitive enough? I don't know how old they are, but when they're
they're cognitive.
I mean, do you ever think about being a comedian while they're?
Yeah, my kids are 6 and 9. So my oldest. They both know that I'm a comedian, and I'll show them the sketch. Actually, my daughters and I filmed a Ace O'Connell sketch the other day where Ace is talking to her about surfing, and she's looking at him like, what an idiot. Wait till my dad gets home, and then I walk in the door. And so my youngest daughter she's very, very hilarious, and she understands that I'm a stand-up comic, all that stuff. The thing that I have to be careful of is as they get older, and if they gain access to the material, making sure that it's stuff that I'm okay with my kids seeing. And when I'm writing and performing, it's for 21 and up clubs. I can sling a dick joke, no problem. I can use profanity, no problem. I don't talk like that around the house.
Wow. You know what? That is very interesting.
What?
That you don't use that language when you're at home.
No, absolutely not. No.
That's responsible of you.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's Scott on stage performing and putting on a character and being for.
I think I've only seen you in those environments where it's like where comedy environments, so there's alcohol encouraged. I think I've only
basically when I see you, you're drunk. And,
I'm actually surprised you've ever been sober.
Scott.
When I first saw Alex outside of doing stand up, I literally said to you, I was like, "Oh my god, you're like a whole functioning person." Like, it's different. I don't know. It's just different than night and day when you know everyone on a week-to-week basis, but you know them at a bar or a show that you're encouraged to buy one item.
Right. Well, I have to balance that too, even just with my clients. So not only just my kids, and that's a big responsibility, but with clients as well. Like when I sit down and have a meeting and I'm helping a business develop their strategy, finding their audience and how they're going to develop their marketing, I can't have them looking at me like I'm just going to sling a dick joke across the table. I have to be. They have to view me also as responsible and somebody they can trust with their brand's vision. And so far, the clients that I'm working with, they understand that, and they actually like the idea that I'm a comedy, and my stuff has a comedic angle to it. But I also do real serious storytelling and things as well. But
you said that's where you started.
What's that?
You said that's where you started, and then kind of moved into doing comedy stuff recently.
Well, and a lot of advertising has witty stuff in it, and so I worked at St. John and Partners and Dalton Agency, and at one point I was writing commercials for Zaxby's and stuff, and so I was able to have a little bit of.
All right, I didn't even do this all show. That's a Zaxby's is the shit. That's my dream job, boy.
Trying to get
writing commercial. I would be a great. I'm gonna start writing commercials for fast food shit.
Yeah, I was working with a guy named Josh Pogg, and we've worked together on a lot of projects since then. But we were together. We were teamed up. I was an art director, and he was a writer, and so we would concept and storyboard and write these commercials and stuff.
Yeah.
And some of them were funny, and some of them were serious, and so there's definitely a comedic element to a lot of advertising. So it helps. But yeah, going back to what you're saying, like I've had conversations with my kids. They're like, Daddy loves Jesus. But he does cuss a little. You understand?
That's funny. Daddy's a man of God.
So when I was 18 and 19 watching my dad do stand up, he was fairly clean, but it wasn't like he was. I mean, it was comedy.
Yeah.
Right? So it had an element to it. But at that point, I was old enough to know
what's going on.
What was going on. And so I think by the time they're old enough to know, it'll be fine. And
but
they don't have cell phones. They don't have access to any of that stuff. So
I'm gonna ask you first, Alex. 3 people you used to watch in comedy growing up. Excuse me.
Growing up?
Yeah, 3 people who inspired you, pushed you to actually do this shit, get on stage, and now you're hosting a show at the comedy club.
Yeah, I mean, they're all
coming to you next, Scott.
pretty generic.
That's fine. Give it to me. It doesn't matter.
Well, first of all, the myth, the man, the legend, Dane Cook.
Yeah. He's still alive. Why are you sending one up? My man Dane Cook. He's actually in the back right now. He's alive.
In comedy, he died a long time ago.
All right.
So I still remember when my friend gave me that CD that was like everybody went crazy for.
Yeah.
Mitch Hedberg, another one of those ones where like just you remember where you are for some reason. Like, just because they're like weirdly defining. And I don't know. I mean, probably Bill Burr or something like that. Like I said, they're all generic. They're not like.
I mean, it matters. It's generic doesn't mean wrong.
Well, back then also it was harder to get access to that stuff. That's why I remember the CD from Dane Cook.
Yeah.
It's like now you can just go find a comedian online like that.
That's crazy. I don't think I was around when it was hard to get out. I think I've always had easy access to comedy.
No, back then it was like somebody showed up with a CD and you're just like,
that's Adam Sandler's new CD, and you're like, what is this? This is hilarious. I shouldn't have this. I'm gonna get in trouble. Yeah. It's almost like porn. Yeah. It was like, this is so off color, And I remember my stepdad busted me with listening to Adam Sandler's CD, and he was like, that shit is hilarious. He's like, let's listen to that.
What about you, Scott? Give me 3 people who pushed you or who you used to watch who made you do comedy.
So from a very young age, like a very elementary school, I would stay up late and watch BET.
Oh, wow. Comic View?
Comic View.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that was I loved it.
Comic View was so dope.
So I can't even list all the comedians on there that
I've always wanted to do Comic View and Def Jam.
Yeah, absolutely. And
now they don't exist anymore.
So I was watching that, and then in Living Color, I would watch that with my dad. He kind of let me stay up late and watch that. And then, of course, like actual proper just stand-up would be, obviously my dad was a major inspiration when I was in high school and is why I wanted to be a comedian. And then... But I remember very clearly watching Sinbad special when I was young.
Sinbad?
Yeah.
No one's ever said that on this show before.
Well, I remember clear as day. I watched it with my family, and I was like, I want to do that.
Okay.
Like, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
And he was just slaying it. And I watched it not long ago, maybe 6 months ago or something like that. I found it on Netflix, and I put it on. I was like, what is he, in a church or something? Like, where is this special? Where is he filming? It was so crazy. But
I've seen some I didn't know that there was like a whole church comedy scene.
Oh, yeah.
I just learned that. They do stand-up at churches.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen some of that, too. But, yeah, those guys, you know.
I don't think I'll ever get invited to it, but, but it does exist.
Your comedy's not Lord-friendly?
No, not really.
I didn't find the
I'm not worried
Bill
about my
Burrs
kids
stuff.
finding out about it.
Yeah.
So.
I just learned Bibles are the only book that you could come on. That would
That's like my third or fourth joke you guys have done on this set.
Dude, they didn't know that was your joke. Now you said it. You exposed yourself.
But you could put that in a little comedy sketch.
Gentlemen, thank you all for coming to the show. We're coming up on an hour. I'm not doing shit with the rest of my day, honestly. I'm probably going to go back to bed. But I appreciate y'all coming to do the Writer's Block podcast.
Hell yeah.
Alex Sanders, you got any dates or anything coming up soon?
August 3rd? August 3rd, is that the first Wednesday of next month?
I'll check when I'm not using my mobile
if you have a
hotspot to run this camera.
Near you. August 3rd, I think, is the first Wednesday of the month. Every first Wednesday, we're doing that ComedyZone feature show.
RiverCity Comedy Showcase.
That's the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I should have said.
Yep, that's the one.
Shout out to the Zone, home team, gang, Leah, all them.
The bird sound was excessive. It was all cool until the bird sound.
That was too much. Oh, by the way, I have to say this now. ComedyZone doesn't have the same opinions as the people who talk on this podcast.
Yeah.
We're all just chilling and cooling. August 3rd?
August 3rd, I think, is the next one.
Okay.
It should be all killers. It's a fun lineup. I book it, so it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Says the guy that was like, put my name on the flyer as host for my ego.
I did do that.
Yeah.
I said, you don't have to, but for
He
my
goes,
ego,
you don't
it would
have
be
to,
nice.
but if you have Photoshop open, can you put my name on that as a host?
Don't release that to how people know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that I consistently want people, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. Scotty, what you got coming up?
July 21st will be the next InkFactory show.
Great room. Amazing room. Out at the beach. Mm-hmm. Love that place.
Yeah, InkFactory Brewing. The lineup for this one is stacked, too. This is, in fact, I was in South Carolina randomly visiting family, and my brother-in-law was like, hey, let's go grab a beer down at this little pub down the street. It was like, oh, cool. As we're walking in, his wife reads a sign on the door that goes, and she's like, oh, they're doing comedy here tonight. I was like, oh, dope. Maybe it's an open mic. I'm going to put my name on it. And I looked immediately at my girl. She's like, not why we're here.
Yeah,
and
really?
So, yeah, and then
me time.
Yeah, and then I found that it was a ticketed show, and I was like, what? That's crazy. It's a full-on comedy show. I wonder who it is. I checked Instagram, and Christian Blaker's like, heading to South Carolina, super stoked. I'm like,
Oh, wow. Oh, wait, this is a Christian show?
It was Christian.
Him and Marcus?
Yeah, Christian, Dan Venti, Marcus, in this little brewery a mile from where I was staying in South Carolina. Like, what are the odds of that? And I was like,
that's wild.
And Marcus was like, dude, I'll give you a spot. And they were like, no, we're going to dinner. We can come back later.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to go on. But those three dudes torched that room. It was sold out. There was probably 150 people in the room. And
They're doing July 21st?
Yeah, and they melted it. So it's them and then Christoph from Orlando coming up. So that lineup for 21st is
I've seen his name on the rhythms for a little minute.
Yeah, he's cool. He's a good dude. I met him in Orlando when I was doing some mics down there. And
Yeah.
but yeah.
Dope. I posted my dates on Instagram. I got Tap That. I'm doing J-Paw show. I think that's July 23rd at what is that? Jack's Brewery, Jack's Craft Brewery. Yeah, one of those. It's on my Instagram.
It's a good show.
I'm doing Mike Freed's Backyard.
That's cool.
That's going to be cool. Mikey B did that show not too long ago, so I don't think y'all can come. I don't know. I think he has people who are coming to that show. And then, what else do I got? July.
I like how you're plugging someone's backyard.
I mean,
Yo, my boy, he got
the address is 271.
tell me the name of the show.
Yo, slide through Publix, get what you want to drink,
He
man.
didn't tell me the name of the show. He just said, hey, come do a show in my backyard. Your
Honestly,
friends
Mike-
did it last month. And I said, okay, absolutely.
Mike Freed's Backyard is a cool ass name for
Yeah.
a show.
Oh, boom. All right.
it is. Like,
Yeah.
I just remember. So I'm doing that, and then I'm doing Yulee. I'll be in Yulee at Disco Witch Brewery.
Oh, yeah.
And then July 30th, I'm in Orlando doing Milk District. So
that's cool. Very cool.
funny guys here. Make sure y'all go follow them on Instagram, YouTube as well. Check out their stuff. I'm pretty sure they're going to be posting soon anyway. Follow me, maybe Bobby on everything. Appreciate y'all for coming to the pod, boys.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. All right, we outie. Peace.